What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 30 of the Geek Cast. I am Bobby, the Geek Guru, joined, as always, by my hetero life mate from the UK, Toby. What's up, Toby?
I'm good, thank you.
I figured I wanted to change it up a little bit.
I was a bit.
I didn't want to say my buddy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I didn't want to say my buddy, from the UK, because I always say that, so I wanted to change it. But I'm a little excited this week. We got Joey Ferris, my buddy Joey. How you doing, Joey?
Doing great. We've known each other for like how many months already, and we're finally doing this in person.
I know. It's been a while. It's been a while. We've been talking about it and flirting and stuff, and nothing ever came to fruition. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing ever came out.
I was afraid I'd get friend zoned, but I guess
no. Listen, a guy that has a painting of himself in the background will never get friend zoned. It's just
this is true.
Joey, if you guys don't know, and you should know, he is the owner, operator, creator of the greatest YouTube channel on YouTube, Ferris Wheel Productions. Second to none.
YouTube just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, exactly. They'll figure it out eventually. So, but Joey does some amazing videos on YouTube, and that's how I found him. I actually heard him on the Life of Gaming podcast a while back, and went and checked out his videos, and I was like, holy crap, this dude is awesome. So we talked a little bit that day that I saw the stuff, and then we said, like, we need to get together and do something, and here we are. We're doing something. And I was actually on your podcast last night, Game and Talk, so that's another thing with his buddy ALLAN Plumber. So if you guys get an opportunity, check that out, subscribe to it on iTunes and all that good stuff. So,
thank you for your kind words, Maestro. Your opinion means a lot.
I'm just being a nice host, that's all. I really don't believe anything I'm saying.
He said
full disclaimer.
I'll just feed your ego for a little bit to make you happy, and then when the show clicks off, I'll go to Toby like, this guy was a jerk. Do we bring him back again?
Just like everyone else I mean in real life. Cool. Awesome.
Hey, listen. I listened to your podcast. The girl texts you back. You're okay.
I'm fine. She still sucks as a human being, though. So, well.
We're gonna kick this episode off like we do every episode with our Geek Outs. Joey, you are the guest. What are you geeking out about this week?
Oh man, Bobby, I'm geeking out over the same thing you're probably geeking out over. Batman vs Superman. Oh yes, the final trailer came out. I'm psyched. I'm waiting for this for a long time. You waited longer than this, so man. I'm excited. Batman at the beginning of the trailer was like doing Arkham Knight style combat for the first time in cinema history. When he blocked Superman's punch, Superman was like, man, I'm about to die right here, right now. It's great.
Yeah, I loved it. And it's a shame Alan's not here because Alan always tears the trailers apart. Like, he's above and beyond with Marvel and stuff. And me and him always get into these arguments. Like Toby will tell you, we have these arguments in the Geek Cast Facebook chat. And I'm like...
I just zone out.
Yeah, Toby's just like, I'm not going to get involved in this. You two have fun with that. But I felt like, I watched that trailer and I was just like, holy crap. Like you said, like, it's a fully functional Batsuit. It's, what we dreamed for with the original Batman with Michael Keaton. It just never happened. This is just like, if you read Batman comics, that whole scene with Alfred, like, I'm going to drop you off on the second floor, and then him just coming to the floor, and, like, I was like, oh, my God. I was just, like, all over the place, man. I was dying, man. I was like, this is insane. So, and then, like you said, when he blocks Superman's punch, and Superman gets that look on his face, like, I just peed my pants. Like, I'm dead. This guy's going to whip my ass. And I was like, I was happy.
You're making me want to watch the trailer, but I'm trying to avoid it.
Watch it, man. You can't miss it. Oh, it's awesome. There's really
so good.
Honestly, there's really no spoilers in it. I mean, it's stuff that we've seen all along.
How long is the trailer though? If it's more than a minute and a half, I'm not going to watch it.
It's like 2 minutes, but the bulk of it is stuff you've already seen. The bulk of it is stuff that's already been in it. If you look at it and go, how much new stuff is in it? Maybe 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, but it's the greatest 30 seconds of my life.
Absolutely. Oh, God. We talked about it a lot on Game and Talk, so if you want to hear us talk more about Batman vs. Superman, just listen to Game and Talk, man.
Yeah, I was going crazy.
When is the film actually out?
March 25th.
March 25th.
Mark the calendars.
Yeah, I'm taking off work for the 25th. Me and Tony are going to go to the midnight showing. And
see, are you more or less excited about this than you was about Star Wars?
Oh, I'm more excited for this. For me, Joey might not be, but for me,
actually, I was way more excited, to be honest.
Yeah.
And this is weird because you're the bigger Batman fan than I am. So
yeah. Honestly, anything Batman, I'm excited for. Like, to me, it's like a holiday. I literally take off work the next. Here's my ritual. This is exactly what I'm going to do. Promise you, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to take off work on Friday, the 25th. I will go to the midnight showing Thursday night into Friday. Go home, wake up, go to a matinee Friday to see it again. Saturday or Sunday, I'll go see it one more time. Then the following week, I'll probably hook up with my dad and go watch it in IMAX. Like, I know it already. I've done it with, I did it with The Dark Knight. I did it with Batman, with The Dark Knight Rises. I did it with Man of Steel. It's just what I do for a Batman movie or something big that I really want to see. So I'm excited for it. Tobes, what are you geeking out about?
Well, I don't know. It seems a bit less exciting in comparison, but I'm geeking out about perler beads.
Oh, what the hell? Really?
What?
Batman v Superman.
Listen, right? I have a reason because I've never actually had perler beads before, and I've purchased other people's sprite work through perler beads. Now I've decided that I want to get involved with it. I want to start doing my own sprites. So today we ordered over 10,000 beads.
What?
Because they come in a big bucket, 10,000 beads. It's like a little starter thing.
But they're separated in different colors.
No. You've got to separate them yourself.
Are you serious? 10,000. You have to separate?
That's Karina's job. Karina can do that.
Good job.
That's not worth it.
We bought like a little plastic like tub thing that's got little compartments, so she can put each color in.
Well, she's got OCD, so she can.
She's looking forward to it.
That'll keep her occupied. I'm gonna do it for Tony because that'll keep her occupied for like days. And
exactly.
So, are you done with that yet?
And we was looking up what sprites we want to make out of it online, and Karina really likes Bayonetta, so I looked up a 16-bit Bayonetta sprite, and on DeviantArt there's a few different ones that people have made, so we're gonna just borrow that and make that as a sprite.
Yeah, we'll try. I mean, that's how you learn. Nobody the first day looks at it and goes, "I'm gonna make Ryu," and just goes at it, and next thing it's just awesome. It takes time. You're gonna
I'm excited about.
What you have to make though is the sprite of Bobby that my friend Allan made last night.
Yes.
Do it.
Bobby was just showing me that before.
Yes, do it. That would be awesome. Myself, I mean, obviously Batman v Superman, I'm geeking out. But my main thing is my iPad Pro and my iPencil. Like, I got it this past week. I've been drawing again. I love this thing. A lot of people were giving me some guff about it because they're like, oh, it's about time Apple got a stylus. And it's not about Apple versus Microsoft or anything like that. But the one thing about the pencil is it's not like a stylus. It's got built-in components into the tip, which translate and communicate to the pad and tell the pad what to do. And if I push harder, it's like drawing with a pencil. The key for me is my ability to put my hands down onto the iPad and continue to draw. Like, it doesn't view it as, oh, he's now drawing with his hand. A lot of tablets, when you do that, it takes control and the stylus will not work anymore the minute you put your hand down on it. So,
I see.
Yeah, like typically when people draw with styluses and things, you have to float above the actual image. It's like painting, and I can't draw like that. And a couple of years ago, I went to the New York City Comic Con, and I sat down with the Wacom people and was like, "What can I put my hand on?" Like, yeah, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And it was this huge tablet, like this huge computer screen that I was drawing on. I was like, "This is perfect." And I was like, "What does something like this run?" They're like, "Oh, about $3,000 to $4,000." And I'm like, "Yeah, you just."
There's something that big though. My brother had a Wacom tablet that was smaller, and that was only a couple of hundred.
Yeah, but those ones just aren't as fluid. Like they're smaller. It's harder to draw what you're drawing. You know what I mean? And you're also a lot of times on those littler ones, you're relying on your computer monitor as well. With this, it was kind of like a computer monitor. But that's what I like about the iPad Pro. It's just like it's a huge tablet. it's much bigger than. It's almost twice the size of a regular iPad, like the iPad Air. It's almost twice the size of that. So I'm enjoying it, and I like the aspect too of I can convert them to videos, and it could show like a step by step.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing your little Batman sketches and that.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do. I've been drawing more, and I haven't been posting them. I'm just gonna do a compilation and start posting them on YouTube.
Yeah.
With different character music and all that stuff behind it. So
that'd be cool.
What are we playing? Toby, I'll kick to you this time. What are you playing?
Oh, this week I've been playing 2 games. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll start with the boring one. I was playing with Ghost Recon Shadow Wars on 3DS. If you remember back to our top 10 discussion a few weeks ago, that was my number 2 game, I think.
Yes.
And I've just gone back to it, and it's really got its claws in me again. So I think I'm at probably about 100 hours in that game now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I'm really addicted to it. But other than that, I've been playing The Witness on PlayStation 4.
Oh, God.
that game has taken over my life like I'd never expected it to. And
gosh, that game is so difficult, I swear, for me at least.
It is a very hard game. And there's times where I come across a puzzle and I think that I'll never, ever complete it. But I go away and then I'll come back to it the next day or something, and then it just instantly clicks. And it's like I wasn't even thinking about it, but my brain must have been organising it, in the background.
That's weird how the human mind works.
It really is, and it's just such an interesting game. I think that it could be better if, because I'm not really into the audio vlogs that you can pick up, like the little tapes you can.
Yeah, what the heck are those? They're not even.
They're very abstract. Yeah, and I don't know. They could have done something more interesting with the story, but I'm trying 100% it. So I know there's over 500 puzzles in the game, and I've done 370 so far.
Holy cow!
Plus, you get these extra little thing, because it counts puzzles, and then it counts the puzzles that are in the environment, because you've got the puzzle panels, and then environmental puzzles are you'll see a line that you have to draw in the environment, and it's all about perspective and how you line up your character's viewpoint with the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've done about 53 of those, and there's 132 of those. So.
Oh my god! But you're making good time, because you've only been playing this for what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, but I've been playing it at least a few hours, every day.
That's good. You're making, like I said, you're making good time with it. That's not, and you're enjoying it, so that's a plus. Now, here's a question: if you get stuck on a puzzle, can you skip that puzzle and come back?
Yeah, because it's an open world game, so it's set on an island, and there's 11 different areas on the island, and each area has got a different type of puzzle, and at the end of those series of puzzles, you unlock a laser that shoots up to the top of the mountain. But if you struggle on one area, you can go to a different area and start on a different set of puzzles. And it's cool because you learn techniques and stuff from these puzzles and rules, and then you take those and apply them to other puzzles in a different part of the island. And it's just really, really interesting. And you don't actually need to complete all 11 areas. You can complete the game by only doing 7 of those areas.
Okay.
So if people do struggle with certain ones, they could just skip over them.
That makes sense. Joey, what are you playing right now?
All right, I've been playing 3 different games this past week, because I have to review 2 of them for Nerd Reactor. One of them is The Witness, but I haven't played that at all this week because I'm working on Marissa Tomb Raider for PC review. Okay. Now, I've played this game on Xbox One all the way through. It's fantastic, one of the best games of 2015. It sucks that it came out the same day as Fallout 4, and it was an Xbox One exclusive, because not a lot of people played it. Yes. Now, this PC port, though, it demands a lot from your PC. I have a really great graphics card, and I got a quad 8-core processor, FX A350, R9 390 graphics card, for those who are wondering, and it still beats it all to the bone because it's demanding a lot of horsepower. I have 8 gigabytes of VRAM.
Is that because it's poorly optimized, or do you think that's just they want to get the most graphic intensity?
I think it's the second one, because I haven't heard it could be a mixture of both, actually. I don't know, because I've looked into the issue and I thought, oh, I'm having an AMD graphics card, and this game is clearly using NVIDIA GameWorks or something, so I'm clearly getting screwed over in this. But then I look at Digital Foundry, and it's running to like the 970, which is the NVIDIA equivalent of my card, is running like similar issues as well.
Okay.
So it could be that, but I don't know. It might be best to wait for a sale for this one, guys. Still a really great game, though.
I'm waiting for PS4. I can't wait to play it on PS4.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a good one. And I've been going back to play Doom. Doom 1, because I haven't beaten that one yet. I've beaten Doom 3, but Doom 2, I haven't even started, so I'm really looking forward to starting that one. And Doom 4, the Doom reboot, it's coming. We've waited 12 years for this.
I'll be honest, when I watched E3, that thing just blew me away when Bethesda showed that game. I was just like, wow. Like, it was just... The stuff they were doing was just wicked. And
you know what's so cool about that game is that it's such an old school style of game, but because nobody's been making games like that for so long, it just feels so fresh.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You've got health pickups. You haven't got walls and cover to hide behind. It's all fast paced and just running around shooting everything.
Yeah, it's great.
I agree.
I mean, there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of game series, like old ones, that are coming back now, like shooter-wise.
Yes.
Like Rise of the Triad recently made a comeback. That was good. Wolfenstein came back, and it was just great. That game, The New Order, blew my freaking mind for a game that started out as just shooting Nazis and killing Hitler and being this speechless badass. It went from this really great and emotional story that was also just about killing Nazis and shooting stuff. It was great, man. I'm loving this new trend of old shooters coming back and blowing us all away.
Let's hope they bring Time Splitters back.
Here's hoping.
You know, the one thing that impresses me, Joey, is about you is you are younger, quite a bit younger than me, and
quite a bit, yeah.
But you have that appreciation of retro gaming, and I've noticed many a times you go back and dip into the well and play games that you've never played before, just because so you can learn the history of a series and get a better feeling for it. I appreciate. For myself, I appreciate that because there's so many kids today that are playing. I'm calling you a kid, but you're not really a kid.
Well, I know what you mean.
Compared to me, you're a kid, and there's so many younger people today that like complain about a series and don't understand sometimes where the series came from, and don't understand the progression of it and stuff. So I got to tip my cap to you because I really do appreciate that.
Thank you. I try my best to learn everything. Like it's not like, man, Colin Moriarty put this perfectly. You're not gonna know about punk rock if you just listen to Green Day. You got to go back and listen to the classics.
Yes, exactly. Myself, I'm playing more Mother 3. I haven't had a whole lot of time to game this week because the work's been taking a toll on me.
All right, Bobby. So you're still playing it, but what about this rumor that they're going to release it anyway?
I will buy it if it comes out.
So, but what if it comes out later this year? Are you going to buy it and play it again, even though you've just played it?
Well, I haven't finished it yet. So, but I would probably want to buy it just because I would buy it and start to play it and see where it leads, because obviously the one was a fan's translation and the other one would be more from Nintendo, obviously. I would be curious to see how close they are, and if I feel like Nintendo's going in a different direction just because they understand what they meant when they were making the game, then I might rely and go that way. Also, it depends on how it looks. I'm playing it on a DS Lite.
Right.
So it's the Game Boy Advance version, but it's a DS Lite. So it looks good. I don't know how it would look stretched on my TV. So that's another thing that might lead me away. But I don't know. I don't have a problem going back. I'm probably, game-wise, I'm probably about 8 hours in. And I think the game's about 40 hours. So to stop and to click again and start over, I would probably appreciate that and do it. I don't know. I'd definitely buy it just because I feel like I have a stolen version of Mother 3, per se. I don't, but I do. You know what I mean? And so I would like to give Nintendo money for porting that over.
For giving me what I want.
Yeah, exactly. For 30 years later, give me what I asked for. So that's
I think it's interesting though, because you think of like now there's a lot of HD remasters that come out, and I know that that's quite a different thing because pixel graphics don't really have the shine from SD to HD like a game like Twilight Princess. But like I feel like if somebody just played through Twilight Princess again on Wii, and then they heard about Twilight Princess HD coming out, they'd be less likely to want to play it again, even though that's like, they'd feel bummed out because they could have played a better version if they just waited.
Yeah, and I don't feel bummed out at all that they're coming out. Like, I'm happy that it's coming out because I want more people to get this game and appreciate the series, because my hopes is that Nintendo sees that, like, there is love for this series, and you know what? Toy doesn't want to make a Mother 4. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it ourselves and go with it. That's what my hope is. Like, I know that they want to pay respects to Toy because he's the creator of the series and all that, but at the end of the day, Nintendo owns the franchise. I just don't know if there's anything in the contract that says that they can't make anything without him, which is a very strong possibility. But part of me feels like a lot of the reason why they didn't do anything was because him and Iwata were friends. But with Iwata's passing, does the new regime kind of go, okay, we understand the respect that Iwata gave you, but if you're not willing to make this game, we want to make a game. We want to make Mother 4. So I'm kind of curious how that would go. I would love to see a Mother 4. I would like to see the series just keep going. I mean, there's no reason for it. Why it would stop? It's a solid role-playing franchise that's different for Nintendo from your Mario RPGs and stuff. So I would love to see them keep going down the well with this and keep going. So that's the other reason why I would support it. That's the reason why I bought Earthbound Beginnings. It wasn't so much to play Earthbound Beginnings because I wasn't, what we talked about this last night a little bit, like I didn't really like the game that much. But I did it to support the franchise and to tell Nintendo, like, we want Mother 3. Let's go. Enough of this nonsense. So same reason why I bought Earthbound. I had played Earthbound years before, but I never beat it, so I went back and I played it and I beat it. And when I beat it, I fell in love with the game. The one thing that we've talked about before in the past is pixel art doesn't lose its luster. I think over time, pixel art just gets better, and that you get a better appreciation for pixel art as it goes on. Polygons and stuff is what looks like garbage as time goes on. And that's where you need the HD remakes for things like that. I don't feel like you need an HD remake or any type of remake for a game like original Mario Brothers. I mean, it's nice to clean it up sometimes and maybe give it that new polish, but it doesn't need it. It doesn't have to have it.
Yeah, I mean, the difference with console games, like from NES and SNES, is the cables that you use for your TV and that. And a lot of the time, those consoles don't look good on modern TVs.
Absolutely.
So when you get a game like on Virtual Console or on like a Mario Maker that has got those old pixel art styles, they're changed to look good on a good TV.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I like getting my. That's why I like upgrading my past Virtual Console games to Wii U because it just looks so much better on my TV, and I don't have to go to the god-awful Wii mode. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on. We're going to kick into our first topic, and there's a lot of talk with Starfox, a lot of problems with Starfox that we're hearing, rumors. Everything's rumors and speculation. But my question to you guys is, should Nintendo scrap Starfox motion controls altogether and actually even push it to an NX title launch? What do you guys think?
I think if they really are struggling with the motion controls and they're already this late in development, they should scrap them because it's clearly a problem and not a lot of people want them. So what's the point?
Yeah.
But as for pushing it to NX, stop screwing over Wii U owners if that's the case. And that's like, man, I remember telling one of my coworkers that, and they were like, they're Wii U owners. They already feel screwed over. And I'm just like, okay, even if that was true, you're going to screw them over even more. That's not a good business strategy, guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if they're already pushing Zelda U to the NX, that's good enough. That's actually makes business sense, too. But
I wonder if they do a similar Zelda U thing where and we don't know that Zelda U is going to do that. But again,
we
that's
actually don't.
speculation. Yeah, it's a strong feeling, and all signs are pointing that way. But if they were to do that and say, "Hey, look, here it is on the Wii U, and here it is on the NX," would you feel that it would lighten the blow a little bit?
I don't know. I feel like it would make it worse because then they'll be like, then the Wii owners will be like, we're getting a lesser version of the game.
Well, they're going to do that regardless. You know that.
Yeah, of course.
So, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the week, and my feeling was the motion controls were the people that are complaining about motion controls. I feel like you did it to yourself, kind of, because there was a time where everybody was screaming at Nintendo like, what's the point of the gamepad? There's no killer app for the gamepad. This makes no sense. And they went to Miyamoto and was like, we need you to design games that are basically built for the gamepad. Starfox was the game he built for the gamepad. So then it comes out and they're like, I don't want this type of game for the gamepad, and I don't want it to be a gamepad game. And
they don't know what they want.
Exactly.
Well, isn't it that people are looking for a reason for the gamepad? Because Nintendo obviously thought it was a good idea. It makes the console more expensive, and people are stuck with it. You've got no choice. Yeah. So people have spent more money on the console because of the gamepad, and they feel like they need something to make good use of it.
Yeah. But it's up to Nintendo to figure that out.
It is up to Nintendo. But like, all right. So the Starfox motion controls, maybe that's just a bad way of using it, and that's not our fault for not liking the controls.
Yeah.
It's their fault for not being able to nail that. They could have used the gamepad in a different way. It didn't have to be motion controls.
Yeah. And I agree, but I feel like this was a tech demo that was built from the ground up to showcase the gamepad. Nintendo didn't realize at that point, I don't feel, that Splatoon was going to do that for them, and Mario Maker was going to do that for them, and they could have gone with traditional controls for Star Fox. Again, they went to Miyamoto and said, make us a game that's gamepad heavy and shows people why they have to have the gamepad.
Miyamoto, we need your help, please.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm not saying that that's, people should have gotten that and this is what we should get, but I think that, like, at the same time, like, rather than people just going, okay, I have the gamepad, it is what it is, go with it and enjoy it, they turned on it and were like, this is basically the Kinect, or this is PlayStation Move. Get rid of this and give me $100 off the console, and then I'll buy it. Probably Nintendo should have done that. Probably Nintendo should have done that, but they didn't do that, and we don't even know that would have been the price drop as it was, but that was what a lot of people, and I felt that way, that like if they would have dropped it, packed the Pro Controller in and went with it, you would have done well. But hindsight's 20/20 at this point, and it's. But I think my personal. Well, Toby, what do you think? Do you think they should axe the motion and go to NX?
Well, the thing is, I think they should just give you a choice. If you've got a choice of just using the standard controls or the motion controls, then that keeps everyone happy.
Yes.
And like you were saying in our chat offline, that you wasn't sure about Splatoon's aiming at first, but you got really into it, and that could be the similar thing for Starfox.
Yes.
It might not be for everyone, but people like you obviously like it, so you might get on with it.
A lot of people, that was their complaint with Splatoon. They wanted traditional shooter controls, and Splatoon gave you that option of shutting off the motion controls and going back. What people quickly realized was the motion controls are better with Splatoon.
So much better.
Yeah, and a lot of people you talk to that's turned them off, it was like a couple of hours later, turned them back on because they were like, this is bad. Like, it's so easy to just turn the controller, the gamepad, and shoot somebody as opposed to trying to take the stick and slide it over. You're quicker on the draw than the other way. And it's so fluid. It's so much better. So I think that too, like, yeah, they should give people the option to turn it off, turn it on. I think my issue with Starfox is telling me that I have to use the gamepad to aim, per se, and then the TV is like the cinematic flying. I guess because I haven't played it, I can't comprehend what that entails. I can't comprehend of, okay, I'm over here looking over here because I'm looking at the gamepad. Do I fly into something on the screen? Like, where's that controls, hinder? And that's where I feel like it's a good idea. It just doesn't play. And I think that's where they're having issues.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the Splatoon controls work because you're always on foot or you're swimming around on a flat surface. But when you're in this plane or this whatever it is, like your Starfox ship, what's it called? Is it R-Wing, is it?
R-Wing, yep.
Yeah, so you're flying around your R-Wing, but you can go up, down, left, right, you can do loop-the-loops and whatever. Like, that's so much more dimensional movement than you are in Splatoon. So.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's move it along. Okay, so if I said to you guys that you would have to be locked into a room and you had to play one game for a minimum of 2 hours a day, every day for 1 year. But when the year is over, if you are to succeed with this task, that you'd be given $1 million. What game would you pick and why? Joey, you go first.
Oh God, I would choose with all 2 of the expansions included, if that were the case, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
Okay.
Because that was my game of the year last year, and I haven't started over on that game. I haven't even beaten it yet. But since there's like about 200 hours of content in that game, and we got 2 other expansions. I think one of them is already out, but I don't know if the other one is out. And those last 2 a good additional 20 hours total, or maybe even each. So. I mean, it's not even just the fact that the game is really long; it'll keep you occupied if you only play it 2 hours a day for a year. But it's because of the fact that the world in there is so like I am so what's the term enthralled in this world that I'm in, and the tasks that I do are like some of the most non-repetitive side quests that I've ever played in a free roam game, and not to mention the choices you make in it drastically change. How much the story plays out. At least that was the case in The Witcher 2, when you can literally change your campaign depending on the decisions you make. I don't know if that's the case in Witcher 3. It might not because it's free roam and stuff. It's hard to change those environments. But still, there's just a whole lot in The Witcher 3 that I love and I adore, and I can't wait to go back and play a second round when I beat it for the first time.
And you feel like you wouldn't get bored with that game? You feel like
absolutely not.
Because there's nothing else you could do in this room. You're just locked in the room.
Hang on, all right, yeah, so that's like, how many hours is that? 730 hours of Witcher? Like,
yeah, that's 730 hours, but that's not all the time you're there, and that's just saying that you have to play a minimum of 2 hours. You could play for more in that day. You could play for the whole 24 hours, or you could stay awake, But my thing was telling you that you had to play 2 hours minimum. You might run that risk of, do you portion it out and then sit in a room bored for the rest of the day, or do you dive in like most of us do and play as much as you possibly can at the front, and then all of a sudden it's like a chore to play the game? So that's...
Well, either way, it sounds like hell on earth no matter what game you choose. So I'm just gonna go with The Witcher because that's the one that I can. I was stuck between either that or Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I regrettably have not gotten so far into Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm stuck on this damn affinity mission where I have to kill this monster that's like 2 levels higher than me currently. So I'm gonna grind. It's annoying.
That stuff can get to be. That's the only thing I don't like about that game is when you get stuck in something like that.
Same as the reason why I haven't played in like a month.
Yeah. Toby, what about you? What game would you pick and why?
You're gonna call me a big old cheater for this, but I'm picking Mario Maker.
Did I say you would have? I didn't say you would have internet connection.
I don't care. As long as I can make my own levels.
You didn't say it, so
I know.
The thing is, like, even if I didn't have it, like, just having a creation tool would mean the possibilities would be almost limitless of what I could play in that game.
Yes.
And not only like, is it fun to make your own levels? Like, I mean, it takes me like at least a couple of hours to make one half decent level in Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And I can tell that would fill your time very easily. And but the thing is with that game is that the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And so at the end of that year, you're going to be an expert Mario Maker designer, you know. So that's going to be good.
So you think.
You would be. How would you not be? You do anything, what is it, 10,000 hours of anything and you're a master at it. So
This is true.
Yeah.
Myself, I would pick Minecraft. Just because I know I could dive into that game and just mine for hours and just keep digging and not really necessarily have an issue with it. But I also love the building part of it, like building buildings and all that stuff. So I would have to have it on the PS4 because the world is unlimited. It's just forever. But that would be the game I pick because I know that I could just spend endless amounts of hours and not really get bored of it. Like even like I haven't touched it in like a month maybe on the Wii U because I bought it on the Wii U when it came out, and I haven't touched it in a month. But like I know that in a drop of a hat, if I went back in, I'd be addicted for immediately and start playing for hours on end.
So here's the thing, right? Though, if you didn't have internet on that game, I think the loneliness would set in because it's a very lonely experience anyway. But when I always found on PC whenever I played Minecraft and I made some extremely cool building or dungeon or whatever, at the end of it I felt sad because I had no one to share it with. Like I couldn't show it off to anyone. It was just my lonely creation. I could wander around this castle or whatever, and I just felt like really disappointed that it was just only experienced by me and nobody else.
Sounds like a real first world problem.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, Toby. I could spend a year building this monstrosity of a world, and then at the end of the year invite you in and you could just go run around and run free.
Okay, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
See, there you go. See,
but then you'd have to rough it out though, knowing that for you.
That's fine because I know that you would fall in love with it the minute you saw it, so I'd be okay with it.
You would build like an effigy of me, like you build a great big Toby statue.
Exactly. Okay, so with the rumors of NX on the rise and a lot of debate of it's coming this year and all that stuff, my question to you guys is, let's just say hypothetically it does come this year and it does launch in the fall. Should Nintendo go back to the big stage, do a conference like they did in the past and unveil this thing, or should they stay with their digital events that they've been doing? Toby, I'll throw this at you this time. What do you think, Toby?
I want a big stage event. I've said this before on the podcast. I want them to come out, and I want one of the execs to be on stage, whip out something from their jacket, and just hold it up, and then everyone just goes, ah! I want that moment. I want to hear people shouting and screaming in the crowd, and the excitement, and all the lights and flashes and the video. I don't care if there's a mistake. I don't care if somebody messes up on stage. It just makes it more fun and more lovable, you know?
Yeah.
And I just want that sort of big stadium experience of people everyone there is excited at the same time or disappointed, whatever happens, like just a shared experience like that. Because I mean, I love watching it online, you know, whether it's a direct or a live thing, but just seeing people stand up out of their chair and when the camera pans over and somebody's crying, like that is just a moment that you can't replicate that in a Nintendo Direct.
This is true. How about you, Joey? What's your feeling?
All right, I won't get mad either way if Nintendo does a press conference or a digital event, but man, I'm with Toby on this one. It's the power of a really good press conference is unimaginable. Like, man, I remember Sony's conference in 2013 when they had said PS4's $399, and everyone was like, "Yes, Sony wins!"
Yeah.
And then, okay, and man, and I was looking back at some like our friend Bennett from the Voice Chat podcast forum. He always does those like E3 history things for Nintendo, and I just look back at some of these conferences, and it's like, man, I think it was 2004 when they showed off Twilight Princess for the first time. Everyone lost their mind. It's one of the best reactions.
So epic.
Yes, one of the best reaction videos on the web.
Yeah,
What if they did that for Zelda U? I wonder how the reaction would have been then. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
true.
man, if they could pull off a really good press conference and they know what the hell they're doing, the slip-ups won't matter. Nothing's gonna matter if the crowd reaction's there and the content's there, and nobody's gonna be even talking about Sony and Microsoft. All eyes are gonna be on Nintendo. They will single-handedly win this E3, maybe even this holiday season. And if I go to E3 this year to represent Nerd Reactor, the person crying that you were talking about, Toby, it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
See, now, I've been under you guys talking now got me changing my mind because the whole time I've been like, no, keep it digital event, keep it digital event.
Understandable.
I don't want to see the mistakes and all that stuff. But in thinking, I think that if they strip the conferences down, and if they bring Bill Trinen out or Reggie, and those are the spokesperson that do your video packages. Just don't have people come out to demo games and all that stuff. Like, have Bill or somebody like introduce each video package. But when they do the NX, like that should be your moment where they come out and they show it, and then like because I can imagine how I could see myself like in my living room jumping up and down screaming like an idiot, and like and because of the crowd reaction I would be even more so. I think now that the more I think about it, in the past I've always felt like the people that feel slighted about the digital event is the media. The media are the ones that typically go to these things. And it's contradicting because some people say that like, oh, you can go as a person, like a normal person off the street, but I don't think you can. Can you? Like,
No.
Like, I think you can get on the showroom floor, but you can't get into these press conferences.
You can't get into E3 period if you're not a part of the press. Unfortunately.
See, I've always said that, and people are like, "No, that's not true. You pay like $75 or something, you get in. You might be buying somebody."
Oh, hardly. You got to pay like $700 more, like.
Yeah, and so I don't get that whole thing where people say that stuff, but that's where I've always felt like the people that are upset are the media, because I'll be honest with you, I do like the digital events because I feel like Nintendo puts just enough difference on it that it's not the same as a Nintendo Direct. Like, it just has a different feel to it. It feels more important. It feels, and I don't know how they pull it off. It's just something they do that just makes it feel different than the digital.
Well, that like they have extra time to make like little comedy skits and stuff. Like with the puppets, or when Iwata and Reggie were fighting each other, like
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, and like all of that stuff. I love that stuff about the Nintendo Directs, and that's something they would miss if they were on stage.
And that's why I feel like if they integrated both of the things and put them both together, they could really pull it off and be something special.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The one thing that I feel like, and it's funny because I was on the Life of Gaming podcast last year. We did a prediction show prior to E3, and each person kind of talked about how they felt. And
that was a long episode. I listened to that one.
It was kind of like how you felt like each thing would happen and all that. And when James went through a history of Nintendo or E3 conferences and all that stuff, and they're hit and miss. One year they're good, next year they're bad. One year they're good, next year they're bad. And it's just back and forth. Shout out to the train. They're just back and forth, and it's what they do all the time. Last year was a dud. So
Such a dud.
Yeah, and I feel like this year, that knowing that makes me feel like they're going, because I feel like what happens is they come out, they do good, and they walk in the next year with their chest all puffed out, and they expect to blow it out the doors, and they flop, and then they come back and they go, "Oh my God, we got to step it up this year in order to do better," because last year was horrible.
Odd pattern. You'd think you know from I don't know.
You would think, but I love Nintendo, but they do quirky, dumb things a lot of the time, and I think, and plus the other thing too, like you got a new president. Don't you want to put him out there for people to meet him and hear from him and have him talk? You know, I think that
he hasn't. Yeah, he's not been in a public like video or on stage anywhere really. There's been like occasional like interviews, like written interviews and stuff.
Yes.
But I've never actually heard him speak. So.
And part of me likes that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Iwata, but I like that this guy is more like all about the business. Like, because he looks at it and goes, "We're floundering. We're falling apart."
He definitely seems like a serious man who's there to fix Nintendo, you know.
Because people don't. I know when you talk to people and you say to them like, "Who was your favorite president of Nintendo?" A lot of them will point to Iwata and go, "He's my favorite." I loved Yamaguchi. Like, I felt like
you loved Yamaguchi.
I love that guy because you know what? He went out and he kicked Sega's ass, and he point blank was like, "We're gonna win." And he wanted to win all across the board. His practice was screwed up. You know what I mean? Like he did some bold things.
By the way, it's Yamauchi. It's not Yamaguchi. I just don't want fans to get mad and be like, "You disrespect his name."
I don't care. Listen, I never heard his name pronounced before, and that's like the whole Ninja Gaiden like thing, like
tomato.
You don't know what it because you never heard it pronounced before, so whatever. Kiss my butt, Toby.
You got it.
My thing is that I want to regardless. My feeling is that I want someone like that again. That is like. I'm about the business. We're going to win the war. We're going head on with these guys, and we're going to attack. A lot of people feel like, oh, well, Nintendo's not big enough to do that anymore, and I disagree. I feel like they can do that. Sony's not the juggernaut it once was. Like,
no,
in gaming it is. In gaming it definitely is. But as far as like televisions and all the other stuff, they're not what they were. Yeah, music is floundering. Movies is floundering. Like they had to give up Spider-Man. Like that. And not give them up per se, but they had to give part back.
They had to play nice.
Yeah, because they couldn't make Spider-Man work anymore. And so when you look at that, you go, okay. And the same thing with Microsoft. Like Xbox is doing good, yes, but like some other aspects of Microsoft isn't as strong as it once was. So both, and I'm not saying that they're weak and they're falling apart, but I feel like in the video game realm. Yes, Nintendo can come back and do damage and go after them. And if they go after, like they did with Sega, they were so aggressive with Sega. And to a fault, you know what I mean? Like where they would go into stores and tell stores, like, we don't want you putting Sega product on the shelves and things like that. Like,
damn,
like
savage.
There was stuff that they did that was it's against the rule. You know, it's against the law to do some of the stuff.
Error 404. Can't find chill. Chill is nowhere inside. No chill.
So, that's what I like about this president more or less than I did with Iwata because he's more about the business, and I think he's got pride, and that's the one thing that old school presidents always had was. They're all about the pride. The Japanese presidents are all about like just the way they do things and tradition and all that, and like they believe in a certain way of doing things, a certain way of running businesses. So I like that, and I would love to see them get back to some of that because I feel like they lost a little bit of that over the.
They need to go back to like '90s advertising that blatantly like destroys other products. Like
Absolutely.
I remember 3DO advertisements like, throw your Sega in the trash. Yeah. Throw your Super Nintendo in the trash. It's all about 3DO, now available for $800.
Well, think about it when Crash Bandicoot came out, and he was in front of Nintendo headquarters, like, yelling at Mario and all that stuff, and like, that's where I feel like Nintendo started to go back into their shell, but when Sega, and with Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff, and they went after Nintendo came right back at them. You know, and was like, no, this isn't going to work. You know, I just would love to see a return to form for Nintendo like that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. They're trying hard not to like compete with PS4 and Xbox, and I'm like, that's got to change. Sorry, guys. It's competition. Admit it.
With the Wii, it worked. Obviously, with the Wii U, it didn't work. And I feel like, obviously you want to do something a little different. You don't want to go 110% identical to those guys. You want to give a little bit of a difference so that way people look at it and go, okay, I'm either going to pick between Xbox, PlayStation, but I'm definitely going to get a Nintendo because that's different than these guys, and I get my Nintendo games. But that didn't work in this generation. So I feel like they got to do something a little different, but they need to come with the power. They need to come because that was the thing. Like, you know, the Genesis touted all this power, and then Nintendo came out with the Super Nintendo and just crushed it. You know, and even the Nintendo 64, in theory, should have been better, more powerful than the PS1. But the problem was it just them cartridges took up too much. You know, it took too much to run them cartridges. The GameCube was strong, you know, and so they just it just seems like after the GameCube they just didn't care no more, and they kind of just went back to like playing it safe. And I think I want to see them aggressive because I feel like an aggressive Nintendo is good for the gaming industry altogether.
So much more. It'll force the other companies to innovate more, and it's going to be who's going to win? The consumer.
Absolutely. I agree completely. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. We got one last question that I'm going to throw at you guys, and pretty much it's a new segment we're going to kind of start, and we talked about it a while ago, but who wins it? Mega Man versus Shovel Knight?
Mega Man.
Why do you say Mega Man?
I just think Mega Man's cooler. Like, alright, Shovel Knight is a cool character, but he rips on so many classic games. Like, it's like it pulls all the best stuff from the classic games, and it throws a few new ideas in. But I feel like Mega Man was like old school, and he has like all these different weapons and unique powers and stuff that Shovel Knight just doesn't have. Like, Shovel Knight has a bit of magic, but he doesn't have like the different powers that Mega Man has.
Because they're lazy.
Yeah, exactly. And he can't fly across the screen on like a jet dog or whatever. Like you know, like Mega Man. I don't know. It's just I like the Mega Man world better as well, like the enemies and the bosses and stuff. Like I
like Shovel Knight better, and I'm a big Mega Man fan. I'm a big Mega Man fan, and I feel like everything about Shovel Knight is just better. Like he's just, I don't know. When I look at Mega Man, I think like, okay, he's cool. When I look at Shovel Knight, I think he's a badass. Like he can really do damage. I don't know. I'm more inclined.
So are we just comparing the character or the games though?
I'm more or less saying the characters. You know, like, but you can take it however you want. Like if you want to compare the games, then I say Shovel Knight all day long. Like I feel like Shovel Knight's a better game than Mega Man. Now, granted, it takes a lot from Mega Man. It takes a lot from Zelda. It takes a lot from Mario, DuckTales, all that stuff. But at the same time, I feel like it's a solid platformer. It's a solid game. It does. It takes. A lot of times when you look at those games that like take from something else, they just don't step it up and do the job. This game takes from all that and just nails it. You know, and it reminds me of a Mario game where a lot of companies try to make a Mario game, but they just don't do it like Mario. You know, and when you go back and you play a Mario game, you're like, oh, okay, they get it. They nail it. You know, this is what I feel like that. Like a lot of people make a Mega Man type game, but Yacht Club nailed it. And
I mean, you know what I like about Shovel Knight is that each level feels unique, and they don't they do like the Mario Galaxy thing where they have like a level with certain mechanics and ideas, and they sort of rinse it, and then they don't really reuse it on the next level. It's like it's got different elements in the next level, and like every level is like unique in its own way. So
and that's a little bit of Mega Man formula, because like when you played Mega Man, like. Although that's not true, because some of the levels did feel very difficult.
And the thing is, like, there's been so many Mega Man games that they've had to reuse old ideas and enemies. Yeah.
What's your take, Joey? What do you think?
Never played a Mega Man game in my life. Shovel Knight, I played all of, and if we're just comparing characters, then I actually do have to go with Mega Man. To be honest, I mean he's cooler, I guess.
It's got an arm cannon.
He's got an arm cannon. This is true, but But man, I knew it's one of those things where it's like I gotta see them duke it out. Gotta see them fight, like an official made by Capcom and Yacht Club thing where they just fight and they do finally finish it out, because it's like magic versus science is basically what this boils down to.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say who would win.
They just need to put Shovel Knight in Smash, and then they
could have. If they would have done it, then we would know. But
yeah, we wouldn't be having this conversation if they were both in Smash.
This is true. This is very
I would have
true.
laughed my ass off if Shovel Knight was a costume.
Yeah.
That's like the ultimate screw you guys. Oh, you wanted Knuckles? Here you go.
Yeah. That's the one thing I felt like, when they did the costumes, it was like, oh, we're giving you Gino. And it was like, no, you're not. You're just giving me a meat fighter with a costume. This feels cheap. You know what I mean? It's like you're giving me Animal Crossing Link. You know what I mean? Like where I dress up like Link in Animal Crossing. I don't look like him, but I got the hat and the knife or the shield and the sword and stuff.
Counterfeit Link.
Yeah. It's basically what you're doing. Like, oh, we gave you Knuckles, and we gave you. It was funny when they were like, we implemented the virtual fighters in. No, you didn't. You put like costumes on me fighters, and so. But all right, so I'm glad that you guys agree with me that Shovel Knight wins. So that is all.
Yeah, you deserve that.
Yeah, I did. So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, if that's how you did, or if you watched us on YouTube. I sincerely appreciate that as well. If you can, jump over to iTunes, rate us. 5-star would be awesome if you could. If not, and you
be honest.
Yeah, no, don't say that.
Like a solid 3.5.
Look, I've got the confidence that people are going to put 5 anyway.
Yeah,
so
but you got the confidence, but then you get these. Please, 5s. I will love you forever if you give me 5 stars. So, Joey, thank you for joining us. I really, really do appreciate that. Why don't you tell people how they can reach out to you and find you and all that good stuff?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at FerrisWheelPro, but more importantly, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/FerrisWheelProductions, where we do video game reviews and we talk about games with our podcast, Game and Talk, and the reviews are not your mother's ordinary reviews. So yeah, there's that.
That's very true. It's very true. They're just well thought out, well done reviews. Like the Arkham Knight one was just phenomenal. You guys knocked out the park, And I told you before, like I love the one with Shia LaBeouf. Like I thought that was hilarious. that was awesome.
Thank you.
You can follow Toby Instagram. He is at Amiibo_workshop. Twitter at Toby's_take. Alan, who is not here, I'm not going to give him a plug. He could F off. He's at Allen_Paxton on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at the Geek Gurus. That is all. Peace, mother.
Bye.
Mo.